Our first morning in Dublin involved taking the Dublin Express bus, which gets you to the city center from the airport for about $12 and only takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Our flight from Keflavik to Dublin was a breeze. It's too bad the airline went under in October of 2025. I guess it was just too good of a deal. We had some time to kill before we could check into our hostel, so we wandered around Trinity College and the Dublin Tourist Office, which is the old St. Andrew's Church.
What's he singing in? Portuguese? It's really cute. Alright, let me read the book. Right?
These are doors. I had read up a little on public transportation and felt like we would be able to get around using it in Dublin between the buses, trams, and trains. Taxis and Ubers would be last resorts in order to save money. Near Trinity College, we stumbled across the Stein.
This is just a commemoration. It's not the actual stone, right?
Near this point stood for about 800 years the Long Stone, probably erected by Viking inhabitants in the 10th or 11th centuries. River Liffey was much broader than it is now, and this was the shoreline of the River Liffey.
Oh.
The strand along where transit streets function as a landing place for boats for the Middle Ages. The Long Stone was probably to mark the landing place.
Was removed before 1750. Look at that guy.
Then it was time to check into our hostel, the Gardiner House, which is a wonderfully renovated Georgian building that used to be home to the Religious Sisters of Charity, a Catholic order of nuns dedicated to the underprivileged. Fitting because it was extremely affordable. Props to Jess for finding it. It was a great hostel with clean pod rooms, preserved stained glass, laundry facilities, kitchen, and common room areas. One dining room had this great mural of Newgrange, a megalithic passage tomb I was looking forward to visiting on my return trip to Ireland in a little over 2 weeks. On our second day, we took the bus to the National Botanic Gardens of Ireland, and it was a feast for the senses. I broke out my little action cam with its backpack shoulder strap, so that's why some of this footage looks and sounds different.
And shoot it 2 ways, you know. Oh my god, I got so much shit, Jess. How do I live with all this stuff? Helianthofolia. Here's some poppies. Those little balls. Look at the poppy. Gosh, it's so red. Wow. Oh, it smells like roses. Totes free too. I mean, how cool is that? Just walk right in. Wow, look at that little thing. Can't go in, but you can admire it from afar. The lines. Yeah, see, here's my theory. I think that the Vikings and the Welsh and all the seafaring whiteys, they went all over the globe, right? And they met up with the Native Americans who were similar, right? And they were like, trade,
Yeah.
and intermarry, all that, you know?
Right.
This is a reconstruction of a Viking house modeled on an excavation from the Wood Quay area of Dublin. It was erected in 2014 to commemorate the 1000th anniversary of the Battle of Clontarf.
It just keeps going. It really is. It really, really is. Wow, look at this. Look at all these hostas. Just blooming. All these varieties.
8 million hostas.
Every variety of hosta that you can imagine.
Crazy impressive.
Yeah, it really is. And free. Free to the public. I know, man. Can you imagine how old they must be to be this big?
No wonder they're like no picnicking. Just imagine how many people would be here.
Yeah. You can't eat here. Yeah. They have a cafe.
Plant lovers.
They have a cafe. You can get some snack afterwards.
My mom's gonna dig.
Right?
I almost want to be like, Mom, you gotta come over.
Wow, it is huge. Oh yeah, that is amazing. Look at that. What is that? That's a geranium, right?
Well, it's a geraniaceae, yeah.
Oh look, here's a coffee plant. So that's what your old coffee plant.
Looks like for your service to me.
We wouldn't be here without you. Look at the size of these leaves on this giant palm. False banana. It don't grow no bananas, but it's huge.
Starfruit.
Without plants, there would be no life on Earth.
I
Yeah,
have to fuck with it.
this is a test. This is only a test what's in here.
I'm looking for Sando.
Oh, that's cute. It's like a greenhouse. You can totally just hang out. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at all this. Wow. Look how huge that is. Saxifrage.
Right next door and connected to the Botanical Gardens is Glasnevin Cemetery. It was remarkable, but most of my video was too jerky to watch. The shoulder strap rig just didn't live up to the hype.
1854.
This one, but it broke off.
This is the O'Connell Tower, the tomb marker of one of Ireland's most famous 18th to 19th century leaders, Daniel O'Connell. You can tell I'm getting tired because I'm taking more photos and less video. We rode the bus back to Gardiner House for a quick freshen up. Here's an interior shot of my hostel pod. Then we headed back across the river for a walk around Christchurch Cathedral. This cathedral would have overlooked the Viking settlement at Wood Quay. Recall the Viking house from the Botanical Gardens. It was added to continuously from the 12th through the 20th centuries. Weak with hunger, we finally landed at the Brazenhead, Ireland's oldest pub, that dates from 1198. The current building dates from 1754. Legend has it that medieval wizards were able to make mechanical busts usually of brass or bronze, that could talk, but only enough to answer yes or no questions. I can't believe I didn't even get a picture of my fish and chips before we were off to the temple bar, which was entirely too crowded for us to fit into. Now we've come to the hard part of the video where I have to somehow explain how I had a falling out with my friend Jess on this second to last day of our trip. Basically, I lost my temper. I couldn't find which bus we needed to take back to our hostel, and by this time we were exhausted. We'd walked around Dublin all day. Our feet hurt, we were tired, and we just wanted to sleep. And for the life of me, I could not figure out where to catch the exact bus that would take us back at least to the neighborhood our hostel was in. It took a while. It was really hard. And we ended up parting ways on the street for various reasons, one of which was because she thought we should go one way and I thought we should go another, and we only had one bus card between us, but that really wasn't an issue because I could have easily gotten another bus card, which I did end up doing the next day. But for whatever reason, I couldn't read the app's map to figure out which bus to take back, and so I began just walking towards the River Liffey that I knew I had to cross to get to the neighborhood where our hostel was. I figured if I got at least close to the river, we would be able to figure out another bus. We were in no danger of the buses not running. The sun wasn't even close to being down. It really wasn't that bad, but her anxiety was high and so was mine. And then my default, which is horrible to say, but my default was to just be mad at her for being anxious, even though I too was anxious. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is you have to be very careful about how you respond to things when you're traveling a place you've never been before with someone. And this is my apology to Jess, because I did not exercise emotional intelligence, and I'm pretty embarrassed about it. And I also do need to mention that it was Mercury retrograde. I'm going to look that up though right now. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was the shadow period. It didn't go retrograde until July 18th, and this would have been happening on about July 8th, I believe. July 8th. Because the next day we were supposed to go to Wales together on the ferry, and that didn't happen. I did not go to Northern Wales as I had planned. I thought that I would swing around maybe to Northern Wales on my way back, but that didn't end up happening either. So yeah. Anyway, point being, it's hard to travel and get lost and not take it out on the person you're with, and be mindful of that if you travel, and if you travel alone, which I got lost by myself alone too. And it wasn't fun, but I didn't have anybody to blame but myself, and that did make it a little bit easier, which is kind of why traveling alone is kind of nice, because you got to celebrate your own wins and losses, and you won't have to worry about being angry at somebody for no reason. We did have a ball in Iceland. And we really had a ball in Dublin until we didn't. That's really the truth of the matter, is that, yeah, you don't expect to have a falling out, that explosive of a falling out with your buddy while you're abroad. And I did not figure that into the calculations. And the lessons learned are, be upfront, with people. Like, I think that perhaps I could have made it more clear that I was having a hard time being the only navigator. So, anyway, I felt like I had to include it, and that's why I'm including it. But anyway, stay tuned for the next video, because the next video you will finally get to see some wedge tombs, and we're getting into the meat of the wedge tomb, portal tomb, standing stone, stone circle sections of my trip, which is why I took the trip. So, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.